think it's great to listen to the band playing now, because when I used to listen to it before, it makes you want to get up and dance.
It's brilliant. I can't believe I'm in that band because, I'm not that good, and, I think when you listen to them, some people like come from knowing that. Brilliant.
Maybe it will sound very simple what I'm saying, but I think it's quite important for the education. If young people have the opportunity in the education to have more interest for things like music, and if they like music, they should have the possibility to study, to play.
Quite serious considerations of whether, in fact, to close the music service down altogether, the whole lot, and if, in fact, there is some sort of leeway or some sort of negotiation possible at all, at least cuts again.
Ask any professional musicians, soloists, orchestral players, even conductors, how they started to make music, and the answer will virtually always be the same, in local choirs and bands and youth orchestras. For decades, the very existence of these groups has yielded countless benefits, not only to the music profession, but also to the individual. These certainly are the breeding grounds where the talented musician has been spotted and nurtured and guided towards music college. But even if the young members of these groups haven't gone on to take up music as a profession, they've gained invaluable benefits from the experience of making music with others, the discipline of endeavour, the reward of achievement, an incalculable sense of commitment, identity, confidence. And above all, they've had great fun. I certainly look back on my own youth orchestra days with enormous affection and gratitude, and the annual school's prom at the Royal Albert Hall is a glowing testimony to high standards and huge enjoyment. These children are going to be friends of music for life. But all this is about to change. The government are introducing sweeping changes into the funding of schools in general, and therefore of music education. It looks as if it's the inner cities which are going to suffer most. One has already lost its youth orchestra. And in these cases, music will only be available if you can pay for it. Up to now, it's been available to everyone, in the classroom, in extracurricular activities, and in instrumental tuition by peripatetic teachers supplied by the school's instrumental service. This is the crucial area that's currently funded by local education authorities, and it's this service which is being threatened.
I'm a peripatetic music teacher. I work for the Doncaster Metropolitan Borough Council, and that involves teaching in the Mexborough district. I teach in 14 schools. I teach in a radius of about 30 miles. Any brass instruments, to anybody that wants to play brass instruments, from the range of 8-year-olds to upper 6. We've got music centres every Saturday morning, and we have orchestras, wind bands, brass bands, recorder groups, guitar groups, and we all, as a service, think that the Saturday morning is more important than possibly the lesson. We've just done a concert, taking into consideration a young lad called Lee Beckett, who's 13-year-old. I was privileged to say to him it's his first time he's ever played a solo. He stood up and played his solo, and when you see parents, tears running down the eyes, then my job's worth it. Job satisfaction, great.
I'm a stroke
kind of said that we got some new music to play, and said that I got a lot of solo to do, Craft Me Argentina. So I tried to practice it at Music Centre, and then he said I'd like to do it at his first concert. So I played it. I was really nervous, but then once I got it over with, it were a lot better, and I look forward to doing it at practices, and I hope I'll do it at another concert.
Lee, he's younger and everything, but he's right grown up for his age. He's good though, he's a good player. Well, Stephen's in my form, and he's stupid at school like me on the road, and he's always making fun out of me, and his nickname's Gonzo, because he's got a big nose. And he calls me Buster Longlegs. And Gina, and I call him Spiky. So he's just a great laugh, because I know Stephen will well now he's in my form.
Been playing about 4 years, end of the 4th year juniors I started. I used to always come in sludged up from playing football and all sorts like that. It's being in a band that keeps us going, like, and Mr. O'Connor just keeps us all going.
I think as far as in schoolwork and everything, and out of school, you know, he's got that discipline from being in the band, because, of course, that many kids together, they've got to be disciplined.
We're going to write a very simple fanfare using the notes of the simple tonic chord of C.
The new GCSE syllabus introduced practical and creative music into the curriculum for the first time. Now pupils are taught performing, listening and composing skills, as well as theoretical ones, a move which has been welcomed by both teachers and pupils. But this has made the peripatetic teacher even more important, as his general educational role has increased.
I think GCSE was a great move, and all those teachers who wanted to hear music being made in the classroom said, hallelujah, this is it. So did the young people. The young people voted into GCSE opportunities with their feet. They signed on because they wanted to make music, they wanted to create music, and they want to listen to music in a realistic way. The performance aspect of music requires a groundwork of skill, which the visiting instrumental teachers have provided. If that service is not coming in, then there will be a dip in what we're able to do, because no one musician in education can provide all the skills, him or herself.
One of the things about the GCSE, because performance is now part of the whole thing, that the instrumental teacher, who previously taught in a cupboard under the stairs or in the lavatories, is coming out into the open and having to cope with groups, having to coach performance groups, is seen as part of the school's teaching team. Because the trouble with music is it is not a single activity. It's one thing to play the bassoon, it's quite another thing to play the trombone. You just need people who know how to do these things. You can't, like in maths, have a kind of general expert. You've got to have specific musicians, as well as the general class teacher who holds the whole thing together.
I think if you go into local authorities or schools where there's a lively arts programme, you don't just see an ordinary school with some arts in it. You see a different sort of school. You see a different kind of atmosphere, a different level of motivation, a different kind of vitality in the school, in the community. And the key thing, I think, about all of this is it means that the arts aren't just important for themselves. The effect of having a broad arts curriculum in the school is to enliven the child's whole approach to learning.
Now that schools will be competing with each
set targets for children, as we have done in, say, the core subjects, because we recognise that you cannot expect every child to have the same capacity for music as perhaps you can expect every child to have the same capacity for learning to read and write and do sums.
The government, I think, frankly, has underestimated the organisational problems of the national curriculum. If there were 3 foundation subjects where there were not attainment targets and programmes to study, this would ease the congestion on the national curriculum. Now, this would be very convenient. And I think this is a convenience to the government to say, let's have guidelines instead. Somebody calculated recently that as the attainment targets multiply throughout all the foundation subjects, a primary school teacher with 30 children has to make something like 30,000 separate assessments a year, which is an extraordinary load to put on any teacher. Now, if you can remove part of that block, that has some political advantage. It has no artistic advantage that I can see, or any education advantage.
We're already beginning to hear from our instrumental teachers going into schools that the science teacher cannot release the instrumentalist for a lesson because there is testing to be done every 3 weeks. This is the kind of absurdity that was thrown around in staff rooms 40 years ago.
One can understand the concern of colleagues wanting to have the children present and not absent from class. How that is resolved, I'm not altogether quite certain. If you didn't have the peripatetic input, then I think that education would be very, very much the poorer.
You always think, oh, someday I hope to be principal, but probably never will I, but you know what I mean, you think, maybe. I'm glad I played cornet.
We've looked back on the dad's side and my side, you know, my parents, grandparents, and nobody has played an instrument. So, I don't know where she's got it from.
When I hear him playing in the band, I want to hug him and kiss him and love him, and unfortunately he's of the age where he says, "Mum, don't kiss me in public." But I really get emotional when I hear them playing.
There's no words we can say, really. We're just overwhelmed with his success, and he's done exceptionally well, and we're very, very proud parents indeed.
Well, I want to become a professional musician, either go around schools teaching or conducting. I want to go to college and study music.
Well, if parents have to start paying, in my particular area of Mexborough, I honestly feel that it would decimate the peripatetic service.
That'll do for me. Oh, look at that.
If Doncaster was forced to introduce charging, and heaven forbid, it goes against everything we believe in, I think the effects would be catastrophic. I think everything we believe in terms of music for all would evaporate. It would be music for the elite few who would pay for it. I think everything would stop. Certainly our hearts wouldn't be in it, because I think it's because we do reach everybody. And it's a mix. Every orchestra, if you look through the bands and orchestra, you'll see kids with short hair, earrings, you'll see beautifully turned out kids in a different sense, but they all mix together. I think the importance is that they gel. Social strata evaporate. Well, we believe that music is there for everybody. Music is there to be enjoyed by everybody, no matter what their social, environmental background might be. The fact that a parent may not be able to afford it doesn't come into it. The fact that a parent may not be able to support, or may not wish to support, or may not see the importance of music is immaterial. If a child wishes to learn and shows a commitment, then we feel that child should have a lesson.
And it should be part of the education, like we learn to read books, so we should learn to read music, or to listen to music. People normally in the world, they don't know how to listen to the others. And it's a good thing. To listen with music helps also to listen in life.
I'm not really quite sure whether I would have put her forward for music lessons. We're not a musical family, so I wouldn't have realised she'd got such potential. unless you'd started playing at school originally.
I mean, at that time, when he started playing, we got 3 children at school, and we've now got 2 working. So they're more or less there off his hands, sort of thing like that. So it's only our Stephen. But I still don't think we could afford it, could we?
No, and
we could definitely go buy an instrument. I mean, an instrument like our Stephen plays is what, £1,200 now?
He would definitely want to be able to pay for him to have, you know, he could have had to, for his lessons and things, and for an instrument. There's been no way.
Andrew came home from school when he was 13, saying they were giving me a musical instrument to play. I thought it was going to be a recorder or something like that. He came home with a euphonium, was shown how to play it. Within 3 weeks was producing tunes, moved into the local brass band, went on to the trombone, and has gone from strength to strength. Had it not been for the fact that he got the possibility of taking up that instrument from school, all that could have been lost.
I think a lot of this work is now under threat. I think it's very important to recognise the national curriculum's only part of the new legislation. And equally important, and perhaps in due course it will prove to be a more important part of the legislation, is LMS, Local Management of Schools. Under this new system, instead of school budgets being controlled centrally by the local authority, the majority of school budget will be devolved to the school itself. Schools will therefore have discretion to spend certain parts of their budget as they wish. Now, it may prove to be the case that this will work in the benefit of the arts, because schools which have a strong commitment may decide to put more resources that way. It's as likely, and I'm afraid to say I think it's more likely, that LMS will lead to a rundown of some key areas of arts activities. The reason is that some aspects, for example, of cooperation with artists, some areas of specialist teaching, as in the peripatetic music system, are actually too expensive to support by individual schools. This is really where you need the strategic role of a local authority to support these initiatives centrally to provide the infrastructure.
A large number of our schools are not too badly off when it comes to having access to enough instruments to enable them to play pretty comprehensively at concerts and so on within their school. So I wouldn't be too quick to condemn what we have in our school system at the present time.
I can see that the modelling of the school system on the grocer's shop is quite an important one, that each one has to be an independent little business which buys and sells, you know, in its own system. I can see that that's an important, for some people, an important philosophical position to take, and is a certain model of how society might work. But there are times in which the structures or networks of opportunity can't be sustained like that, and you'll end up with lots of small and squalid little grocer shops all trying to sell everything, and nothing will be done well at all.
From April, schools will be funded in a different way. The income for local authorities will come from 3 sources: 50% from central government, 25% from the community charge, the government's already indicated the levels for that, and 25% from the uniform business rate, which is set by the government. So local authorities will have far less control over how much money they can raise, which in some authorities is considerably less. The problem is then compounded by the new local management of schools. From April, schools will be given 75% of the budget to spend for themselves. The local authority will keep 15% for mandatory services like inspectors and school buses. The authority is then left with 10%, which must shrink to 7% within 3 years, which they can either give to the schools or retain. This discretionary money pays for such things as school meals and special units for disabled children. It also pays for the instrumental service. The fear is that with less money coming in, it's these discretionary services, like peripatetic instrumental teaching, which will be cut or only available to those who can pay.
The size of the problem in the authority I serve is that the shortfall in the budget would require that virtually all of its discretionary provision would have to be cut out. And in fact, in order to meet the budget, there would be some areas of statutory provision where the level of work would have to be depressed in order to be able to afford it.
I would be very disappointed to hear of authorities that were not continuing to provide support for what I think is pretty flourishing across the country, that is to say, extramural, extra-school activities involving music, because most authorities that I've come across have very flourishing Saturday provision or out-of-school provision where they play in orchestras and band for the talented kids who are interested.
There are quite serious considerations of whether, in fact, to close the music service down altogether, the whole lot, and if, in fact, there is some sort of leeway or some sort of negotiation possible at all, at least cuts again. And my great fear, of course, is that having established a pattern with 87 people, by the time we finish up with 30 or 40 people, if that is what it's going to be, and that may well be very optimistic, if it's 30 or 40 people, in which areas of a very varied provision shall we have to cut back?
Because if you start to cut back on instrumental teachers, the bands and orchestras will suffer. Violinists can't teach the trombone, oboists can't teach percussion, but you need all those instruments to make up an orchestra. And if you don't have youth orchestras and bands, then kids like these are in danger of losing out on so much pride, achievement and fun.
This is the second time we've done the school proms, and there's no higher honour. It's a culmination of, what shall we say, 12 years hard work, and to say our catchment area is so small, we honestly believe that we've got the best youth band in Great Britain.
I walk into a bus at school and this kid just came out and pushed me, and I went to hospital that night and I had to go into the theatre. They had to straighten it out again. I was asleep, of course.
What did you think? Did you think you might not, because you didn't come last time, did you?
No, because I was very ill. I thought that, well, I'm determined to come this time, so I put my room on, took my room.
So you're going to be able to play all right?
Yeah, one hand, and I'll be holding it with this hand.
It's lucky it wasn't your right hand, wasn't it?
Yeah, very lucky.
Started when I was about 8 years old. Came into the band when I was 9. I've been with it ever since, really. I think it's been a big influence, really, you know, meeting the kind of people you do when you go around banding, going out to all the different venues and seeing all the different people. It gets you more interested, really. And I think if it weren't for Mexborough, you know, I'd probably be on a totally different path.
Playing other places, but not like my lab at all. Really excited, can't wait.
That band's got to be first. Nowhere else it don't matter, you know, that they've all got that attitude. They're all good kids, like, you know, smashing. I think it's, you know, with me being on my own, I think she wants to do well for me, you know. She wants to show that even coming from a background like this, she can do well, you know, and that's what, I think that's what it is as well. That she's wanting to do well for me, you know, to...
I dare say they would never have gone to Albert Hall, you know, if he hadn't been involved with music. I mean, they're going abroad as well, so it's given them so many things. That a lot of children, if they're not involved with it, they miss out on all these things. If it's taken away, they don't just take music away from them, they're going to take a hell of a lot more from them.
Okay then, let's go.
Hall of Fame.
The badges.
Does it help to clean your instrument?
Helps a nurse. So it's just to make it look better, really, and shine a bit more on stage.
Beverly's got that flu virus and she can't go on the stage. She's too ill to go on the stage, so Richard Marshall will have to sit on top corner. So what we have to do, we have to rejig a little bit. So rather than Robert sit down the row, let Robert sit in second man position. Richard play the solo parts. All right. Stay where you are, third man down and fourth man down. Now you're gonna have to work a lot harder than what we did. All right. With Bev missing because she can blow a little bit. All right. So we're really gonna have to work very, very hard. Okay. You're gonna be all right. Sure. Get stuck in then. Okay.
Solo Cody, 2. Have you all got your moves?
Say, come on then, let's get stuck in now, this is it. Show time. Come on then. Come on, you lot now. Some work to do. All right, come on, Richie. Big chance, somebody. Right, we're ready then. Come on. You all right? All right.
I'm not scared. Yes, we've already done it.
There, now. That's it. On the seat no more.
They want that on camera, you know.
I don't give a damn.
They've got that on camera.
First time, eh? Are we all right? This is it, eh? Big time. All right. You're not crying already, are you? What's the matter? You're excited? Look at eyes. You're not watering already. Come on. I'll show you who, Stephen. Yeah. Yeah, 1, no, 1, 2, 1, 2, para down.
That's what I just
Yeah,
said.
so after 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, para down. And then what?
Well, what can I say? It's sheer brilliant. But obviously I'm proud for Richard, obviously. I won't be a father without. There was tears shed, believe me, and the wife as well. You know, it's brilliant. But it's credit to all the kiddies tonight. Sheer credit to them all. And of course, all the teachers. What could they do without the teachers?
I was very nervous for Richard, but I kept looking at him and winking at him and saying, you're doing a great job.
It is an international language. You can speak with everybody, anybody in the world. Youth orchestra in England, they start before the other country in Europe, so it should be kept in England as tradition. And I remember a fantastic, wonderful concert with Pierre Boulez conducting not the European Youth Orchestra, but the English Youth Orchestra with very difficult program. And they play wonderful, better than many professional orchestras.
The best thing about the British musical scene is we are a nation of amateurs, in the best sense of that term, people who love what they do. My main worry is that those things will disappear. The things people did because they thought, as amateurs, they were worth doing, might go.
Most particularly, one feels disturbed about the fact that young people have embarked on passionate interests in music, and they're going to be denied without any doubt at all.
We've got to do something about it, you know. I mean, we've got to end up, you know, we've just got to stand up and do something about it because it's got to be there. I mean, these kids, they've got to have it, you know. I mean, there's them young guns, what's coming up, you know, what's only 9 and 10, you know. I mean, my little granddaughter, I mean, you know, there's years to come. It's got to be, you know, so we've got to fight for it. Yeah.
What more do you want?